This is the Tallahassee Business Podcast, brought to you by the Greater Tallahassee Chamber of Commerce. Before we begin, we'd like to say thank you to our sponsor, Event Owl, who's helping clients across the nation elevate virtual, hybrid, and live events. Learn more on the web at eventowl.com. Thanks for joining us and enjoy this episode of the Tallahassee Business Podcast.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. This is Sue Dick, president of the Tallahassee Chamber of Commerce, for your weekly podcast. Very excited to have Shawn McIntyre with us today. He's a partner with North American Properties. And I'd like to say, if you've been asleep at the wheel and haven't been paying attention, you haven't noticed wonderful economic activity and really lifestyle change that North American Property, and really under Shawn's leadership, has made in our community going all the way back to 2012. So Shawn, thanks for being on the call. It's great to talk to you today.
Sure. No, my pleasure to be here. It's Tallahassee has been a large part of our company's history for the past 8 years now, and we enjoy very much being here and being part of the community.
So I think a lot of people will remember North American Properties really was instrumental in changing the face of College Town. If you can, just let's take 30 seconds or so of history to talk about what you were able to do in that area in partnership with obviously local government and university, but maybe remind everyone what that economic impact was to that part of our community.
Well, sure. In 2012, when I was brought to town to look at a couple of different pieces of property, I realized almost immediately the significant investment that the local government, the city, the CRA, the county, and Blueprint were making in Cascades, and the long history of the Gain Street Corridor plan and how it really set the stage for development to occur where it was directed and where it was wanted, as opposed to a developer just trying to find a site in the middle of an area where, perhaps the development would have been welcome. So I can say that as a developer that's built in 31, 32 different jurisdictions, that the setting of the stage by the local government and the community was paramount to success of Gain Street by directing students and activity to there. We constructed 6 student housing projects over the years from 2014 to 2019, about $220 million into the local economy from a construction standpoint. And the property taxes went from about probably less than $50,000 a year to now millions of dollars a year due to the investment that we added. We were supported by the city of Tallahassee, CRA, in the county in a small tax abatement of only a year and a half on the first project. But after that, our investments carried themselves, and I think they've showed themselves how successful when you plan for growth as a city and a private developer and local government. If you direct it where you want it, allow it to be what it needs to be in the density, but still following the rules. It's a very nice, well-landscaped, well-thought-out project that it did well for FSU, it did well for the city, it directed students where they should be, and did well for us as a company also.
Well, Shawn, it certainly has revitalized the entire area, and it's actually a destination location. And actually, between Florida State University and FAMU, it's a great gathering point. And now, just the other day, I was driving through there and watching all of the other development that has been motivated, inspired to come up out of the ground as a result. It's made it a very unique location, and I think a real competitiveness for us as a community, for those individuals looking to be in a creative space, whether you're going to school or to start up a small business or start up a new entrepreneurial enterprise. So we fast forward to Cascades, which is just a remarkable project. We were talking that, most people may think it's years away from coming out of the ground. It is out of the ground. It's about to be activated. I appreciate you taking the time. I know you are very, very busy, but if you can, maybe highlight the spots that people will be shocked when they come around that corner and take a look at Cascades and all of the elements that were going to come from that.
Well, sure. I'm sitting here now looking out the window at a 154-room Marriott hotel. The AC by Marriott is one of their higher level brands. They were thrilled to be able to have a downtown Tallahassee location in the capital of our state. And so that 154 room Marriott hotel will be accepting guests in late April and early May. They're taking reservations for rooms this summer. They'll be up on the Marriott app here shortly as soon as Marriott Corporate signs off. But that is the first thing that people can really understand and see in business when they see a rooftop facility and a lobby, a beautiful 2-story lobby. But all around our development here, we will start having people living here in April. We have 16 leases that we've already signed for people that are anxious to move in. We have the amphitheater support space, which is a joint project between the city and the county and the TDC. That's over a 12,000 square foot space with a ballroom for rent, conference rooms for rent, and then also to be used as the green room and locker facilities for the performers that are going to be coming to the amphitheater. So all that is complete, and we're putting the carpet in today. So if people don't understand when they drive by, they still see exposed earth. But the last thing we do is do the landscaping and the irrigation because of all the underground impacts. So we're starting to install irrigation, and people will see by the end of April, early May, you'll be able to drive through the middle of the project. People will be living here. We have an office tenant that will be open in March, occupying as the first tenant in our office building. We will have residents living here. And then we have 2 restaurants that we're negotiating with on the park. They won't be open that quickly, but they'll be open by the end of the year. So the public plaza, that's the centerpiece of the project. The landscaping is about to go in. The pavers are being put down. The turf is being put down. So people will really start to be able to see the fruits of our efforts of over the past year and a half of construction and 4 years of permitting and agreements with the city, primarily in the CRA. I walked today with the city, the 252 public parking spaces. Those will be open to the public in early April also, early to mid-April also. So this place is about to come alive with gates unlocked and landscaping in, and people being able to enjoy it.
Well, you mentioned Millstream at Cascades, and that's the apartment complex. I think your vision early on was to realize that downtown Tallahassee, the livability and all of the amenities that would need to come. Maybe your vision and really what you have forecasted for Millstream at Cascades and what potential renters could look for, and really who's your client? I mean, who are the best type of tenants for you?
Well, it's funny you asked that because what I had in my mind was more of a younger professionals or people that are wanting to be here downtown area and not have to drive as much. But of the 16 leases we've signed, they range in age from 23 to 69. And so there are people here that want to be downtown in all ages and all walks of life. I mean, our project here, you'll have covered parking, you have 1 gig internet, beautiful views off the balconies, brand new apartments, water with the washer and dryers, everything already in the unit. So I think that the standard of living here, being able to get in the elevator, go downstairs, go to a restaurant, walk the park, walk downtown, or if you were fortunate enough to work here, you could walk across the street and go up into the office building. You have people that are visiting, they can stay in the hotel next to you. So this is truly the 18-hour live, work, play, stay that the city, that the whole community, for that matter, has wanted to see. You can't have an 18-hour community and only build one of the 4 elements of live, work, stay, and play.
Well, and I think, I've been fortunate enough to be able to communicate with you throughout the past several years, and actually the last year with everyone working through COVID. You have been remarkable, you and your entire team. I want to actually just take a moment to just say thank you to you and your team for the financial investment in our community, but really watching how you all had to work in and around in COVID. And so really just 2 questions. One, how are things right now with COVID and your crew, and what are you seeing? You maybe just touched on it briefly with Millstream at Cascades. things are changing the economy. You have to be nimble enough to be successful. Obviously you are. What are you seeing out there, and how do you think that potentially impacts this project moving forward and how we're positioned for it?
Well, COVID was very difficult for our whole country, and our industry and our economy. We were blessed and fortunate to stay open through pretty large efforts of our staff here. As some people know, we had a full-time nurse here for quite a long time. You were not allowed on to the project without your temperature taken. We had a lot of social distancing we were able to do because of the size of the project and the number of stories. And, we fed people lunch for 7 weeks straight if you came to our job site, regardless if you were anybody that came to the job, 200 to 250 to 300 a day sometimes, just by giving the stability of people being able to work and being able to have a decent meal. Because most places were closed, people couldn't go to grocery stores, and what we saw was that by providing lunches for people in a safe work environment, that we were able to continue with our project. Moving forward, it's we're thankful that the vaccine is out there and is being administered as quickly, as efficiently as possible. But I think that things have changed. I think we'll all always be cognizant, probably if we've lived through the last year or two of social distancing. We think that our project is located on the park. You can immediately go from a unit to being in an outdoor space with balconies and operable windows and just being able to get outdoors. The amount of light in our units with larger windows. We just think that the pandemic, that living will change, and people may want to live on the park, live closer to downtown. The other thing that we are seeing with the pandemic is that people's lifestyles have changed. They may be wanting to work from home, or they may be going to offices a little bit less. So we're having to adapt some of our various practices here on site to accommodate that. But you have to continue to change and analyze your market. So we do that on a daily basis as a company around the country, and especially here.
Well, Shawn, you all have really put so much into this community. Like I said, I've had the chance and the opportunity to spend time with you. You have always offered your time to walk individuals through the project, to really get them on the grounds, to see what you were working and really to understand and be a part of your development. It was wonderful and inspiring to watch every worker there that you came across acknowledge you, and you could tell you were creating an environment and a culture of not only working for NAP or even if it's the subcontractors, but having pride in the product that came out of the ground. And so we are fortunate to have you here. I know you personally are also involved. I think it's a lot of how you're wired. You give back a lot in your personal life, and whether it's through your mission work or through your Habitat for Humanity. So I think that says a lot. And our hope is that through these podcasts, people get to know a lot more about important initiatives, but also a lot about people who are making a difference in our community. So as we sign off, is there anything else you want to add, or maybe just give your inspiration and your lead for the city of Tallahassee as we move forward?
Well, thank you. We're very excited to open the project and let people start experiencing what only a very few of us have been able to experience. I do think that the city is our partner here. They've always been in this, in conjunction with the CRA and the county and the TDC space. We looked at it as an RFP was issued in 2015, very much like almost an invitation. And so we really worked with everybody for the desires of the community, whether it be the historical plaza, the TDC space, having a hotel downtown, having an 18-hour community, and really everyone has worked together towards it. We enjoyed our relationship with the city, and we're not done. We have 2 more buildings to build at Cascades. We own the waterworks. We have some exciting things going on there. So when this project is finished, some of us will be leaving to other projects of our company, but a large portion of our staff will be here. We have another $100 million worth of buildings and waterworks to do. So, we're excited about continuing that. We're also very excited to see the spaces that we've created come alive for their intended uses, whether it be concerts that people are using the green room, a wedding on the public plaza where people are staying at the hotel, party on one of the balconies here just during a nice day, and seeing people use the project and the product for the intent that we made it for, serving the purpose that that we actually created something and for its use, and now people are using it. That's the greatest satisfaction that we get as a company, I get as a person, and the community should get, and the city should get for being a part of it.
Well, thank you to you, Shawn. And I want to encourage everybody, if you have not walked the space or just taken a walk in and around all of the sites, whether it's the hotel, the office space, the plaza level, the stairs that will go down and lead into the amphitheater, take a stroll. The weather's getting gorgeous here. Shawn, if people want to find out about renting an apartment, or what's the best website, or where would you like to direct people to find out more information?
It's cascadestlh.com. And the whole community is on there, whether it's a link to the hotel, a link to the apartments. And each time you check in, you'll see something a little bit different. So I have sent Sue a flyer that she's going to send out to all of the members of the chamber that gives some incentives to you or your employees for their first month free within the Millstream community. So Sue will get that out to the chamber membership. I'd appreciate that. And that allows people to move without without having a full month of rent and to take care of their moving expenses, et cetera. So we want to see people here. We've created an environment, and it's time to share it.
Absolutely. Well, Shawn, thanks so much. Thanks again for being here. Can't wait to see the final product, cut some ribbons, and have some celebrations there. So best to you and your entire crew, and thanks for everything that you've done for our community.
Okay. Thank you, Sue.
Thanks, Shawn.